fate of heroes, legends old. In his stories their glories unfold. Baz the Bard with strings of gold. His heart cries out the tales he's told.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Meta Report. It's Road to Nationals, it's week 3 and we have all the results. I'm joined this week by Erika Forslof. How's it going, Erika?
It's going great. It's been a happy Road to National season so far. I had 2 back-to-backs on Saturday and Sunday this past weekend, so a lot of flesh and blood happening this week in Stockholm, so happy to see.
Yeah, we shall cover the doubleheader shortly, but let's get on to sort of like the results from week 2, the roundup for week 2. If I can find it, it's all gone wrong. That's no surprise, is it? It's all gone wrong. There we go. Right, cool. Okay, so this is everything sort of like the LSS published about the results. So as we can see, sort of like Viserai took a whole host of points, a whole host of wins, 24 of them. Oh my God. He's certainly doing well in the UK. No surprise that he's pulling in the results as they are, but as everybody is now pointing out, he could LL this week, and then what happens?
It'll be interesting to see. The aggro header of the format, so to speak, right now is, of course, the Viserai. As we can see, he's leaping in a lot of wins for the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And who's going to be the takeover? And we also see those runner-ups here. We have the Syndra and we have the Aurora, that I believe is going to have a good header into the format when Viserai leaves. But yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting to see which one of them takes the lead. One of them might be a little bit more susceptible to disruption. I'm thinking of Syndra running very little to no blues. Then Jarl might be able to pick up some meta points and meta shares when Syndra becomes the more popular aggro deck. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a red line fang list going around from Mara Faris. So, you know, Jarl, but like you said, bit of disruption from Jarl, but red line decks are coming through, indeed. So, just to recap, Viserai's on 944 points, so he needs 56 more points, whether or not he picks them up this week or next week. Dash is on 940. She's not picked up any Living Legend points through this Road to National season. She's really struggling. We all thought that she would go in ProQuest, and she didn't last year. Zen is on 922, and he's kind of fallen off the map. He's only got 5 wins, 5 wins last week. Why is Zen not doing very well at the minute? Is it because Viserai's keeping him in check?
I don't think Viserai necessarily is keeping him in check. I think Zen has a pretty good game into Viserai because of the Zen state tokens that can nullify each and every single rune chant.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take a little bit more pragmatic approach to Zen playing Viserai. So it's not an easy game for sure, but it's an interesting question because I've been thinking about the same thing. Why is Zen all of a sudden not converting? He's doing the exact same journey as Dash Aida, what you mentioned, has also done a dead stop right before crossing the line to Living Legend, and now we see the exact same for Zen. So it's interesting turn and twist in the meta that is not in favor of Zen anymore.
Yeah, maybe we'll see him come back. Maybe the Zen player switch to Viserai. It's just a bit bonkers.
Getting a last run in,
Yeah, indeed. And why not? Righty, so let's go on to Alphaspel, your neck of the woods, and we will go here. Travelling all the way over. There we go. That's where Google says it is anyway.
That's correct.
And I was supposed to do that. There we go. Right, we'll get in the swing of things. So you were at this event, 26 players, 4 Viserai, so still leading the pack. No surprise that he's one of the most popular heroes, as well as new, but no Syndra, only 1. So, yeah, what was this event like?
So the problem with Syndra in our locals is that product has been really hard to find. And so sourcing the cards that you needed for Syndra quite last minute. Syndra became quite popular just a couple of weeks ago. So being able to turn around the items you needed in order to pull off the Syndras was really hard. So there was a lot of people who was interested in Syndra. A lot of talk on the sound was that there's buzz about Syndra. But unfortunately, we were unable, most of us were unable to find the items pieces to go together. So we found alternatives.
Yeah, there was a couple of Slippy. Slippy seems to be being more popular now than Arachne Marionette. The only problem is he gives bonuses to Arachne anyway. He gives all of his stealth cards, or the first stealth card, go again. So yeah, it's weird how Slippy's become more popular than Marionette at the minute. Whether or not that will change as they start facing Marionettes and give them their hero power. So let's get into the top 4. And here it is. Conrad Neva on new. There's a lot of new here. ProQuest win under his belt. Gintz Drimanis on new. Niklas Bengtsson on Aurora. And Jacob Trossin, who is your national champion at the minute. 2024 Swedish national champion. He's got an RTN under his belt as well. And he's on new. New's very popular. Was there any stopping him? Sort of like, through the Swiss?
We actually had a Reiner in top 8, and
nice.
He unfortunately matched into Niklas Bengtsson's Aurora, and he got so close, but unfortunately didn't take the beat. So, and he was of course trying to prey on this. All of these 3 news in top 8 or top 4 is counter blessing new.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very interesting matchups into this last couple of Swiss rounds, as these people are battling it out with are you running counter blessings into the counter blessing new or not, and people had different approaches into that, so it was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
what were you running?
I was running Wizard, of course. I did not have the best day, unfortunately. I have very little practice in CC as of late, so I did really well in Armory leading up to it, so I was feeling good, but I did not. The deck was not in my favor, so to speak, that day.
Fair enough. Sometimes you get the rub and sometimes you don't. Right, so let's see who made it into the final. So it is a new sort of like mirror match between Conrad and Jacob. Yeah, no guesses for which hero won it, but if you can confirm who won this event.
So the winner of this event was the national champion, of course. We have Mr. Jacob Trossing. And it's an interesting story behind this, because Conrad Neva was already running overtime because he was contracting someone to take care of his children the night. And he was slowly begging to, like, you need to come home now because you're over hours. And he was like, okay, but I just need to play the semifinals. Oh, wait, I just need to play the quarterfinals. And now I'm in the finals. And he's like, I really need to go home now. So they had a debate and settled that Jacob takes the win, and they did a prize split. And it was still going to be a counter blessing new that receives the LL points. So it's interesting how that turned out.
Yeah, still county blessing news floating around. It was certainly at the events where I attended as well, in like Dice Cup, Living Realms, and at Mana Screw. It's still a popular build indeed. Right, the gold foil was not opened, no video. We don't know what it is. So probably.
Oh, I actually know what it is.
Oh dear! Oh, we opened it in the end.
It was bought and opened yesterday.
Oh, okay. What was it?
It was a Coat of Frost.
Oh. Okay, I suppose
quite a disappointing turnaround there.
It's like one of those ones where when you open it, everyone just looks at it as, oh, right, yeah.
Oh.
Jacob's quitting with that. Well done, Jacob.
He was happy.
Well, yeah, you would. Righty, on to the next one. Where are we going now? It's a double header in Sweden, so we're staying within Sweden. But this time, it's a Dragon's Lair and it's draft. So 17 players. So what were the tables like? How did they split the tables?
So we have an 8-man pod and a 9-man pod. 2 of those constructions back to back, since we had the 2 drafts Swiss into the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up in the 9-man pod back to back because I also didn't run so hot that day, and somehow managed to make it into top 8. And
nice.
Yeah. 9-man pod is very interesting, that's for sure.
Just twist the numbers slightly. So which one? So in this top 8 pod, who did you draft? What was it like?
So I drafted Arachne. I was dipping into Syndra, but I have the 8th seed going into this, so I didn't really want to go Syndra. I tried to avoid her as much as possible because not having the agency of choosing who goes first or second, I think is really hurting Syndra. So I tried to avoid her as hard as possible, and apparently more people thought the same. And also the first packs we opened had really poor Syndra support, so I don't think many people felt the urgency to go into her because the support just wasn't there, and it was much better for both Fang and Arachne, as you can tell. Yeah, so we had one lucky guy ending up on Syndra. Well,
they'd have had all the ninja cards for sure, but maybe not actually getting any Draconic, which might have been a problem. Right, so let's get on to top 4. Nicholas Asner with Fang, Nick Palm with Fang, Peter Brass, that's supposed to be. I've spelt his name wrong. He's Norwegian. What's he doing here? He's travelled. He's come quite far to play this game, hasn't he?
But it's quite a good weekend when you can do 2 back-to-backs, and we try to schedule those in Stockholm whenever we can, just to make it more profitable for people to travel and thus getting more attendance for these events, which is always nice.
Absolutely.
So we had 2 Norwegian players who joined forces and actually stayed at my house, courtesy to them. And they did really well on the weekend, and we had a lot of fun. So always nice to have them joining us.
Nice. If you're not aware of Peter, he did the commentary for the Swedish Nationals with Christian. So go back and watch that because it's really entertaining. And then Jacob Trossin again. He was labelled Mr. Unmovable.
Is that so?
He was labelled Mr. Unmovable at the Swedish Nationals, and here he is again on the top 4 draft with Arachne. I know you're at this event, so this is the finalist, Nicholas Asner versus Jacob Trossin. Can you just confirm who won?
So to no one's surprise, it was actually a really tight game, and both fought really, really hard and really, really well. But Jacob Trossin's deck was just a menace, and I don't think it should have been so close as it actually was. It just shows the skill of both of these players being able to pilot their deck, but Jacob's deck was amazing. It was the best Arachne deck I've ever seen. So Jacob, of course, takes the win, piloting and constructing the most beautiful Arachne deck.
Brilliant. Nice one. So I take it he didn't open his gold foil?
No. That one is still a question mark.
No one sold that. He hasn't sold it then. Let's hope it's not another coat of frost.
Is anyone looking for another, hopefully not coat of frost, then hit me up.
Yeah, hit him up. Righty, so that is Sweden. Let's go now over to Scotland, and we will go to. When it sorts itself out, there we go, to Thistle Tavern. So Thistle Tavern and Andrew Rayner and his partner Stuart opened Thistle Tavern last year, started running fab events straight away. Andrew made it into the top 8 for the Prague Calling. So he's a dab hand at Flesh and Blood. 22 players. Viserai is not the most represented hero, which is a bit of a surprise. But we got a Bravo, which I was quite surprised at. I was just like, oh my God, someone's packing Bravo.
I looked at the 2 yards and I was like, oh my God, we're repping Guardians in Scotland. Amazing. And then I see 1 Bravo as well and 1 Victor as well. I'm like, wow, Guardian meta, hello.
Victor's been doing okay. He's preying on sort of like the low attack decks. He's just got to stay away from new, which is normally heavily represented. So, Guardian is normally the flavour, sort of like in Sweden. Sort of like, what is everybody's take on Jarl?
It's an interesting meta right now that Jarl is not really converting, but I think he has a better game into new than most of the other Guardians, since his blue doesn't really convert the same way. It just doesn't have the same numbers, and he can easily judge in less good or good value blues. So new is not as scary anymore, but I think we need to see more red line type of decks for him to become overly popular. Troublesome.
That's what he will become. Let's look at the top 4. So we've got Finley Freer on Viserai. He's got a skirmish under his belt. Declan Patrick is on Arachne Marionette. I don't know what's happened. Like, I know Declan to be a staunch Azalea player or a Ranger player, and he's abandoned camp. Jumped ship and gone over to Assassin. Yastin Lim has got 2 skirmishes. He's playing Viserai. And Sharif Shaban has got a skirmish under his belt with Viserai as well. Now, Sharif has won more events than this. He was pretty dominant, like when Flesh and Blood come out, when we're all playing online. He used to play Dory. So Dory's becoming more popular, but he's not gone back to it yet. So what do you think of these matchups? We'll do the Viserai, sort of like... Viserai Marionette one, Arachne one. Who do you think?
So I think Viserai wins the Viserai mirror.
It's just obviously. Pick your player.
It would be fun to see Sharif have his turn in the sun again. As you mentioned, this was pretty popular in the starting ages, but he's still keeping it strong. So let's see if he can convert today. Vincent versus Arachne. I'm wondering if Arachne has enough disruption to play with Vincent. It can really go both ways, because Vincent is one of those decks that is like, if you draw hot, it's going to be very hard to combat. my Runeblade heart says that Finlay might have an edge, but
Okie
we'll see.
Right. It was Declan
Hey, I was so wrong.
versus so Sharif didn't convert, but at least he got a nationals qualification. That's the main thing. Arachne versus Viserai. This is another swingy one as well.
Definitely, and one matchup I haven't played a ton of on the Viserai, and again, Viserai can just draw hot, and sometimes you find those early Mordred Tide Revel turns, and you can just go swinging. But I know Declan is a really good player, so I think Declan might have taken this one. Let's see.
Okie dokie, let's have a look. It was Declan. Sometimes going with the player you know can get you through. So well done, Declan. Abandoned Ship has definitely worked for you. You're now on the assassin camp. We have the gold foil opening, so let's have a look at that. It's not Coat of Frost. I can...
Remove Evergrowth.
Yeah.
Snappies.
Otherwise.
Hey, Romping Club! Nice.
Mansant might like that. He's got Romping Club Levira at the minute, hasn't he? So he might like that one.
Romping Club good.
So that was Thistle Tavern. There's a double header in Scotland, or there was a double header. So let's go over to the other shop in Scotland. Most people will know it. It's Mox in the Hole in Edinburgh. 30 players.
Wow.
4 Vinset. And only 1 Viserai. Now, I did double check this multiple times just to go, have I got that right? Have I got that right? That seems really weird.
I would do the same.
Even one new.
Okay.
It's just like, wow, this is completely different, meta from what I would, assume it was going to be. But flipping heck. So 2 Fang as well. Fang's getting some popularity, not much, but
there you go.
They certainly like him in Scotland, that's for sure.
And the one solo K,
There's always one
preying on the weak. Yeah.
Well, the unfortunate who haven't planned properly. That's why the Kano's there. Righty. So this is the top 4. So we have
not a single Vincent converted. Aw.
No. Alfie Thomason on Dashio, Keir Sweeney on Syndra, he's got a ProQuest under his belt. Tim Dasukovic on Riptide, he's got 2 skirmishes, and I've only known him ever to play Riptide. And Marco Casadillo is playing Dashio. It's quite apt that he's playing Dashio when he's got a surname called Dio, isn't it? So, yeah. What do you think of these matchups?
I mean, the top one is a classic aggro mirror. I'm thinking if Dash.io has enough equipment to stop the nasty mask triggers, that Syndra is going to prevail. I'm not so sure, actually. Could also be very awkward for Dash.io if they draw a lot of items as well. I think Syndra might have taken this one. Oh, interesting to see. Riptide, though, is a very interesting anti-aggro matchup. He can present a lot of different twerks with his D-reacts and get a lot of extra value from his hero power. Let's go Syndra Riptide. That would be fun.
Syndra Riptide. It was
no way.
Yeah. They like their tech up in up in Scotland. Dashio mirror.
Amazing. Was there only 2 Dash.io in the entire tournament? This one.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's a pick your player time.
I don't know any of these players.
No, they're quite new. We're seeing lots of new players come through. Thistle Tavern had 6 new players basically at their event, and they've literally just started with Hunted, and they attended their road to nationals. So good job for Andrew.
So it's a bigger chooser type of situation. Could it be?
It's a coin flip.
Yeah. Maybe Marco took it.
Marco. Look at that. You spot on. Spot on. Well done. Well done for that. Well done, Marco. Brilliant job. Playing a hero that he's got it in your name. There we go. It was meant to be. We got a gold foil. Or was it a judge pack? No, it's a gold foil.
Oh shit, you forgot him. Fucked it up.
Quite like that playmat as well. The red back one looks really good.
Playing what?
Oh, good luck, Marco, good luck. Deal. That's a deal.
I really like that they have different playmats for the different events as well.
Yeah.
Everybody's after the Black Widow, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I heard.
That's about as much as everybody wants this to be a snappy.
Not bad.
Yeah, that was quite a good one. I was just like, wow, that's a really popular deck as well. There's going to be plenty of people that after a Starfall, if Marco abandons sort of like Dash, he's got a good bit of equipment there for Aurora. Let's go to our next one. We are going to the southeast of England. Normally a popular destination. It would have been streamed, or the top cut was streamed by the guys at the Cup of TCG, so you can go and watch the top cuts. But this was Dice and Destiny in Canterbury. So a bit more than what we used to. New being a good pick, but Dory is becoming really popular. Like every event that I've been to, there was a couple of Dory players. We see 3 Dory players here, more than likely packing Dawnblade. I mean, she seems to be a bit of a dark horse. People are, going for her, but I haven't seen any Dories convert into the top 4, on this show anyway.
She had her glory days with the Hatchet Dory build that became really popular in last year's Worlds and Pro Tours. But I think she can have a really good bait into these aggro decks that doesn't like to block and is really, really hard to try and go over when she presents something on a really big Dawnblade. But most of these aggro decks typically pack somewhat type of the react, so they don't go into that fight blind, so to say.
Yeah.
So I think Dory is having a tough time with that right now. But whenever there's a meta where people are not packing D-Rex anymore for whatever reason, then I think she can have a really good conversion rate.
It's not 41 players, that's for sure. If people look at that, I've spotted a mistake. Right, so there's always going to be one. Right, so this is the top 4. Antonis Kazouris on New. Kyle Mullins on Aurora. He's got a skirmish under his belt. Ryan Deblin on New. Those two are part of a Cup of TCG. Now, I thought Ryan had actually won an event, but he's not on my record, so I could get it wrong, but I certainly see his name in the top 4 and finals a lot. And Nicholas Blower on Viserai. So how do you like these matchups? New versus Aurora.
If it's Counter Blessing, I think Viserai has quite an edge with his weapon that denies the healing, and you can really play around the Counter Blessings in a certain way. So I think Viserai is quite favored into the Counter Blessings new. Aurora into a potential Counter Blessing new, it might be a little bit more tricky because you don't have the same weapon, of course, and then the Counter Blessing can sometimes be enough to go over the top for all the damage that Aurora potentially can present. So it's a tough matchup for sure. I'm thinking Antonis took the top one. I'm thinking Nicholas took the bottom one.
Okay. So it is a new. It's a new.
Close.
There's a lot of mirror finals this week so far. It's just like we've had Dash, we've now got this one. We had the previous one, didn't we? So yeah, it's kind of pick a player time. If you recognise a player's name, maybe you'll plump for them like you did with Declan. It could go either way.
I feel Ryan is someone I vaguely remember, so maybe Ryan.
Okie dokie. It was Antonis Kazouris. So I've not come across Antonis' name before. So well done for winning Canterbury, because that is a tough place to go, especially with the Cup of TCG guys, because they've been getting into a lot of top 4s recently. So yeah, really good. Well done indeed. Gold foil. You can watch the video being opened on the Cup of TCG, a short there. But the judge for the event was Jess. She opened a cold foil Erase Face. So a very nice card. Well done, Jess, for that one.
Nice one.
Let's go over. We're going up north. We're going to Sheffield. We are going to Patriot Games. If you need a custom playmat, that is the shop to go to. They make they do lots of custom playmats there. 35 players. Where's these dashes come from?
They saw the Dash finals in the previous one and went like, "Oh shit!"
this would have been the same day. So Patriot Games and Mox would have been the same day. So so you got 5-5 Viscerai. So that's now making sense. We've got 5 Viscerai, 3 Cinder, 3 new. So yeah, it's coming a bit to form. But yeah, Levi's.
Not a single Vincent in this one, comparably.
No, but we've got 2 Acilios. So yeah, there's a few people like the Acilio shenanigans. Would you be quite happy going into this if you were playing Viscerai?
I mean, it's just mostly aggro mirrors all around. It's a very coin flippy type of matchups mostly. Viscerai is again one of the strongest matchups, so I would feel good going into that.
Cool. Let's see how the coin flips turned out. Quite well for the Viscerai players. Oliver with Oliver M with Aurora. I recorded him a few times over the past couple of weeks. Every time he's come on, he hasn't done very well. So I'm really glad that you've got into the top 4, Oliver, and I hope sort of like it's not the camera that's putting you off. Jack Fayer on Viscerai. Paul Wright. He's got an RTN this season and a ProQuest. He made it into an RTN final as well, all with Viscerai, so he's doing really, really well. He's taken up now 3 qualification spots and helping everybody else that's on the ELO ride to get internationals. And Seb Ball, who I've only ever known him to play Viscerai, so yeah, he's got a skirmish under his belt. So Aurora and Viscerai. Who is it a case of who gets their combo turn off first? It
could also be a case of who decides to go first or second, and going first as Viscerai is typically really favorable because you have a lot of setup. And if you get one of those malefic incantations on the board on your turn 0, you can get some gas out of that. It's really nice.
We're seeing a lot of that. It's literally grasp of the Arc Knight Arsenal.
It could be that as well. Is it a Viscerai mirror in the finals? Do we have Jack Fayer? And sounds like Paul Wright has the most conversion under his belt, so maybe Paul.
Okay. It wasn't a mirror. We haven't got a mirror this time, thank God. Go. Yeah, so it's Ollie versus Seb. So both have got good reps with their respective heroes. So yeah, really well done, Ollie. You've made it into a final. Right.
Awesome stuff. Can Oliver pull it off again, coming from another Viscerai win, and just pull it off again? He knows how to do it, so he can do it again. Let's see, Oliver.
Depends how much he can ride his luck, doesn't it? He was the highest seed, I do believe. Okay, if that makes a difference.
Oh, for sure. A percentage on his table, I believe. So let's see if Oliver can take it.
Okay. He didn't.
Unfortunate.
Seb Ball took it in the end.
All right.
Yeah, Seb Ball's got a lot of
more
experience. Hooray!
That shows. But I think that shows a lot in this Road to National season, that it's a lot about not necessarily which hero is the strongest at the moment, but which person has the most reps into the most type of matchups going into this meta.
Yeah, we've seen that come through quite a bit. It came through last year. You had more specialists coming through, sticking with heroes, especially sort of like against MST heroes. But they kept with it, and it's certainly paying off for them. We have a gold foil opening. There's some choice words at the end. Okay, so bear in mind.
That's a nice looking Viscerai in the background.
Yeah, rip the thing though. Oh, there's no volume on this one. That's all right then. So
breaking scales.
What an amazing card to pull. Yeah, that is such a good card. I saw that video. I was just like, spot on. Well done.
Nice.
Right. Okay. So we're staying kind of up north. We are going to the lovely Lee Dalton. We are going to Patriot Games, Stockton on Tees. I did get a message like week 1 of RTN season, sort of like Paul Goodchild, sort of like he messaged me over Discord and he was like, "Do you fancy coming up to ProTech, up to Stockton?" It'd take me about 4.5 hours, maybe 5 hours to get there, but unfortunately I couldn't do it. But at the time they had 51 players, but yeah, a monster of an event, 56 players. I was just like, well done. That is so good. It's unreal. 8 Marionette, 8 Syndra, 6 Viserai. So, yeah, it's like I've struggled a bit recording games, trying to miss sort of like news, trying to miss Viserais, sort of like and Arachnes, you know, when you're trying to stay with the top. And I'm sure sort of like it would have caused the same problems here. You know, nice problems to have, but sort of like you know, not everybody wants to watch sort of like Viserai sort of like for 6 rounds, do they? How would you feel about sort of like the 8 Arachnes and 8 Syndras if you were playing Viserai? It's just like, I mean, you were talking about coin flips. It's just like...
It's definitely a coin flip into the Syndra. It's a lot about understanding when and how to block, especially on Viserai. We have a lot of fridge to work with. We typically have a lot of 4 blocks in DRX at our disposal. And
how much does Fate's Purgatory come into that match? Or do you not take it? Because...
No, I play it, but the problem is that you typically overblock a huge amount on one of their attacks in order to stop something. So typically only blocks for 2, and you try to stop one of the attacks for a mask trigger with it usually. So it's not usually one of those Fate's Purgatory activations. You just use it for the 2 block.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right.
I would be happy going into Syndra. Arachne, not less so.
Let's see who made it into the top 4 out of this. Liam Holden on Aurora has been playing Aurora since Rosetta came out. Worked on the deck with Rob Catton. We know how successful Rob's been with Aurora, making it in sort of top 8 of Worlds. But Liam Holden, runner-up at Calling Liverpool, 2 Pro Quests, 2 skirmishes under his belt. Cody Hodkinson with Syndra, he's a new name to me. Adam Collins, he won the Commoner at Calling Liverpool. He's got an RTN, he's got a skirmish, and I've heard that he's the best player at Rising Phoenix Games in Middlesbrough. Now that's quite contentious because Adam Bainbridge had a word with me in Prague just saying Adam isn't the best player, I am. But yeah, it seems Adam can get into the top 4. Adam Collins can get into the top 4. I don't know if Adam Bainbridge was playing, but honours to Mr. Collins at the minute. And then we've got Thomas Davis with Arachne Marionette. So, Aurora Syndra, what do you think?
I know Liam Holden, he's been practicing a ton lately, and as you mentioned, been siding with Rob Cutton. He's not one of the strongest players in UK at the moment. So I want to lean into Liam on the top 1. I'm reluctant to go with Viserai because it's been proven detrimental so far.
Yeah.
So let's try to go with Thomas for this one.
Okay, so you're going Thomas and Liam.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So Cody won this one. So yeah, maybe it was, you know, an unknown player to Liam as well. But, you know, fair play to you, Cody. Well done. You've beaten one of the best players in the UK. So, Syndra versus Arachne. I don't know either of these players.
I'm trying to think. Arachne doesn't have much of a fridge, and they typically don't want to block with anything because there are so much utilities in their stock here. I think Syndra could have a good game into this. Let's see if Cody can bring it down.
Okie dokie. Going with Cody. Let's have a look. It was Thomas. Well done, Thomas.
Okay.
So, like I was saying earlier, loads of new names that are coming through, and new players are actually taking the spots for the you know, the wins and the qualifications. So it's really good to see. The gold foil wasn't opened, but we've got a judge pack. And the volume's not there again. That's really weird. But yeah, it's nice to see a judge pack opened. If you were opening one,
I love the Zen token that comes with these.
Oh yeah, the Zen token's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
the sash.
That's a nice pull. That's a really nice pull. So yeah, it's very nice for him to show off the Zen state as well. That's a pucker card. That's really nice. Right,
It's
so
really pretty.
that's Classic Constructed all wrapped up. Okay, there's a couple of drafts that are still going ahead. So the first one we shall go to is just southwest of London. It is Lionsheart Bookshop. Now, from what I could get from Discord, it wasn't actually at the shop. So they played sort of like the draft somewhere else, and then they retired to the shop for sort of like the top cut. I think that's what they did.
Okay.
Someone can say in the comments if that's right or wrong. And you eagle-eyed would have gone, that's not 8, Barry, you've made a mistake.
Yeah.
But I didn't make a mistake because they did the top 8 and then someone had to leave. So maybe a bit like Conrad and Neva from earlier.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, they had to leave. So there was only 7 drafting. So yeah, whoever was 9th just went, oh, can I get in anyway? But yeah, sadly not. 7 it is.
Oh, okay.
So let's see who made
It's
it.
a nice spread, though.
It's not bad. Not really one hero has taken sort of like all of it, but four draconic heroes. Sometimes it's running a bit low. Robert Catlin on Arachne. Jack Mountford on Fang. Jack made it into the top 8 for Calling Prague. He also made it into the top 8 for UK Nationals, and he's the owner of Lionsheart Bookshop. So yeah, he's not bad, is he? Edward Catlin, brother of Robert, also on Arachne. And Jason Rolfe on Arachne. He's got 2 pro quests and 3 skirmishes under his belt. So it's who do you think between sort of like the Arachne mirror, but what do you think of Arachne versus Fang?
I think Arachne has a little bit of an edge. I think Fang can present a lot of big numbers, but if you have enough D-reacts, you can easier combat said tricks. Because the problem with Fang when you're facing as an Arachne is that you don't really know if they're going to go tall or wide. But if you have those D-reacts at your disposal, you can cover up the damage accordingly, depending on when they present your attack reactions accordingly.
Okay.
So if you have been cautious about making sure that you have those D-reacts available to you, then it should be in your favor, I believe. So I think Robert takes this one. Jason has been working really hard on draft, and he's been traveling a lot, and I've seen him in a lot of sealed events recently. So I trust Jason to maybe pull one up here.
Okay. So you're going for Robert and Jason. Okay, righty. So we've got one of the Catlin brothers made it through. Edward, well done. He's part of sort of like the Whitney crowd. They're called the Macho Grande gang, which I'm very lucky to be part of their Discord. So well done,
Lovely.
Edward. I know he's been practicing a lot with draft. They came up to Mana Screw, and he did really well there. Made it into the final.
Nice.
It was a brother face off in the final on our table. Robert took it that day.
Cool.
But Jack Mountford, the owner of Lionsheart Bookstore, always looks good if the owner wins his own event. But he is really competitive versus Edward. So what are we going for? Is it the same as last time? Did Arachne get the D-reacts or not?
I would hope so, because I would feel that Arachne is favored if you do, but since it took down against Jason Rolfe, it also has a very high leg up. If you have those D-reacts for the same reason, you can prevent some nasty on-hits. Can Edward take it down, maybe?
Edward. Well done. Edward did take it. Well done, Edward. Well done. Indeed. All the practice of draft paid off. Congratulations.
Nice.
The RTN kit, though, hadn't arrived, which is a massive shame. We're 3 weeks in, and there's still stores waiting for their kits. Yeah, that's really sad. But yeah, hopefully he'll get his gold foil soon. One last place to go. Normally we start with Ireland, but today we're going to finish with Ireland. It's a new shop. It is Serious Business in Sligo. So serious indeed. 3 Arachne, 3 Syndra, 2 Fang. What do you think of these ones, this setup? Normally we see 4 Arachne and maybe, a little bit, an even spread between the other draconic ones.
I think the spread is fine. I would be very happy to sit on Fang because I think you could get a lot of really good quality cards in Fang, and there are so many different archetypes you can pull with Fang. So sitting on only 2 Fangs, I think that was going to be very, very strong. 3 Syndras. It depends on how the pack collision works out because some packs can just have so much gas for the Draconic Ninja attacks, so it can sometimes be really, really good. So that's what I see a lot.
Yeah. This is the problem when you're trying to analyse a draft one. It's sort of like it's a bit beholden to the packs.
Yeah.
But let's see who made it into the top 4. So Conor McGrath, Calling Leon winner, an RTN, 2 ProQuest, 2 skirmishes. Yeah, he's on a bit of a roll. He's going to put he's definitely going for that nationals title. That's for sure.
Yeah.
David Russell on Fang. Then we've got Charlotte Little on Arachne. So David and Charlotte, 2 new players that I don't really see sort of like coming up. And then Justin Walsh. He's got a ProQuest under his belt. Used to play Dromai a lot, so he's probably wishing, you know, like every other Dromai player, when's the Dragon Lady coming back? So should we? We'll just get on to the final, okay? So because we've talked about the matchups before, right? So Conor McGrath versus Justin. So Arachne versus Syndra. We haven't really seen this matchup come up for the draft element.
So Syndra can have a really tough time into Arachne because Arachne can present a lot of on-hits that are really, really nasty, and Syndra typically does not want to block. She converts so much better on the offense than on the defense, so it can be really tough for Syndra sometimes. But we see Justin already taking down 1 Arachne, and if said Arachne does not have those aggressive tools, and also from the Arachne standpoint, you typically want to try and raise Syndra because Syndra just push out so much damage that you need to have those go again attacks in order to kit out your kit in order to raise her a little bit, and also have those on hits in combination with that. So it takes a lot for the Arachne player to have those set pieces together in order to raise a little bit. So it can be tough. It would be fun to see Syndra take it down, I think. Let's see if Justin can take it down.
Justin, okie dokie. Let's see. It was Connor. Connor won that. Well done. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on Connor at the minute. Things seem to be coming up, smelling the roses for Connor. He is on an absolute storm of a run. Yeah, well done. Well done indeed. That is all the games this week, all the events. So thank you to everyone who sent the stuff in. We have a gold foil, though. Oh, no, it's a judge pack. Gold foil is still sealed. Connor doesn't normally sort of like open his packs.
First time on this one. Back. Ever open.
So scary.
This is the Zen stage?
Yeah, everyone's really careful with these ones, aren't they? Because they've only got 2 cards inside.
Oh look, it's your favorite card.
Oh,
No
there is
way!
face. There you go.
Gold foil race face.
Nice.
Nice.
Nearly sucked all the air out of the room there, didn't he?
Oh my god.
Yeah, well done. It's so nice getting shiny cards. Let's see everybody who was qualified for nationals. Hopefully it's not too small on your mobile phone. We've got a 3. Paul Wright, 3 qualifications for Paul. 2, one of those being a win. So well done, Paul. There's a few more sort of like tours. To help everybody else out with the ELO race. So well done to everyone. I don't know how I'm going to fit everybody on the last week. I'll have to have
Just too many. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's qualified now.
Thing is, there's more events, isn't there? I mean, we've got, 160 places now. It was 128 last year. We're at 160 this year. So sort of like, entrants are increasing, and the amount of RTNs within the country is increasing as well. So, yeah, that's always a good thing. It's absolutely brilliant. But let's get on to the meta map. Let's confirm who won up in Sweden right at the beginning of the. I haven't put the other ones on, have I? That's a bit silly. But it's Jacob.
They fight about the same space, so
yeah. It's Jacob both times.
Yeah.
So it should be an Arachne up there. So 2 wins for Jacob. How big is your nationals this year?
64.
Okay. And are you having to qualify, or is it a case of,
It's open.
It's open. Okay. Right. Fair enough. Soon. You'll soon get there where everyone will be in the RTN race trying to get their qualifications. Right, so let's go over to Ireland. There we go. So 2 wins for Connor. Congratulations, Connor. Well done. Azalea at Gamers World and Syndra at Serious Business. There we go. So this is Scotland. To confirm these ones, Thistle Tavern was Arachne Marionette with Declan Patrick. Mox in the Hole, Dashio with Marco Casadio. Hope I've said that right. North of England, there's a lot of Viscerai. It's weird. Prism. Hello. This was week 2. Prism 2 wins. And she's done nothing afterwards. It's just like really weird. All right. So
maybe come back now when this is gone.
Yeah, maybe. Fanboy 3, Matthew Hewell with Prism, and Geek Retreat Sunderland, Joseph Wally with Prism. Living Realms with Viscerai, Paul Wright, and Viscerai with Seb Ball that we did earlier, and Arachne Marionette with Thomas Davis up there in ProTech, up the top near Sunderland. In the middle of the country, 2 more Viscerais. Dice Cup in Nottingham, right at the beginning. Hamish won that with Viscerai. And then Mana Screwed last week, James Clark with Viscerai. We've got a Arachne, Daniel Collett up in Manaleak in Birmingham. Dashio won on the coast. Henry Burles at Skyfire. And then we've got a Syndra, which was Zane Wilson, which was a draft at the new Card Goblin. Used to be Church of the D20. Into the south. Now, used to be Illusionist was the south of England. It's just assassin country at the minute. It's just like
I see.
It's just like, oh my god, where are all the assassin players in the UK? Well, they're down south. Yeah, a murderous lot they are indeed. Won't call them Southern Shandy drinkers for sure. So we've got Bruno Krakow with New down at Beachhead in Bournemouth. Jacob Clemix, Excelsior Comics in Bristol. And then what we saw, Dyson Destiny, was Antonis Kazouris winning with New. Our Vinset player was Aidan Cohen at Dice Saloon. And our Ira, right on the south-west coast in Plymouth, was James Badman. His surname's so bad, it's actually cool. London. 2 events in London. So we've got a draft that went off. Stefano Berrien. That was not a draft, is it? Not with that hero. It's not a draft. Taking it down with Syndra, and then another New Matthew Kenworthy won it with New there. We've got 1 week left. 1 week left. I hope you haven't left it to the last week to try and qualify. But there are so many events, ridiculous amount of events, and there's 2 in Sweden as well. Are you going to any?
Oh, I didn't realize there was one in Malmö. Now I remember. Okay, I didn't plan to. But I might get an itch later in the week and I take a morning train or something somewhere. I don't know. But not on the plan.
So if Viscerai's gone, who would you take?
I'm looking into the Aurora as a follow-up right now. She's interesting, for sure.
Sticking with the Rune Blades. Okie.
Yeah.
So 1 week to go, 1 week to qualify. Good luck if you're going to any of these. But Erika, thank you so much. Thank you. I haven't put the island players in. I've made another mistake.
Oh,
sorry. Thank you to the Irish community for giving me all the information. That was really bad of me. I'm really sorry for that. But Erika, I need to say a massive thank you. I've been singing your praises, and Stefan and Henrik, for like 3 weeks now. You've helped me so much with the new Fab Counter. And the server that's now there, so like instead of trying to mirror it to my laptop, I just use the server. It's been fantastic. Just everybody, if you want to start recording games and you want to start streaming, please get in contact with Erika or Stefan or Henrik to get you set up as on the beta for this, because it is absolutely amazing. You can go back, look at all the 18 games that I've recorded. I think there's about 5 that haven't used that app or the server, but it's well worth looking into. It's absolutely brilliant. I can't thank you enough for that. That you were.
Thank you for using it.
Yeah.
probably going to continue with the beta now for the Road to National season and a bit into the next season as well, just to make sure that we find all the bugs available before push to the masses and make the iPhone app available as well, as it right now is only kitted for the beta version of Android, as they have that availability. So if you want to get in on the beta and get a first touch on how that looks like, yes, make sure to get in contact with me or Stefan and over at X or Blue Sky.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, chuck Stefan a cup of coffee as well. There's a tip on there because running servers is not cheap. So yeah, if you're using the app, if you're using the server and using that service, please just chuck him a cup of coffee to say thank you for it. Patrons, thank you so much to my patrons. I can't do it without you. You help me do so much. New kit like this webcam that I'm using at the minute, the dice that I take to the events. So if you want to jump on the Patreon, go to the link there and you can see all the benefits, which is 10% off of Thistle Tavern singles, 10% off of By the Same Token Flesh and Blood tokens, and you will get your 3 months worth of Patreon money that you've sent me. You get that back as a credit to get your cards graded. For the UK community, Andrew Rayner, Ben Westmore, Jess, Jamie, Paul Wright, James Armstrong, Win Moore and Paul Goodchild. Thank you so much. You're awesome. 1 week to go. Good luck to everybody. Erika, is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
No. I wish you all best of luck for the last weekend of Road to Nationals, and I hope you won't miss Misrai as much as I did, for sure.
Fair enough. So until next week, goodbye.
Bye.